Welcome to Take 5, a podcast brought to you by Newleaf Training and Development. Each edition is an inspiring interview with a leader worth listening to. Enjoy.
Hey, I'm Paul Butler. I'm one of the client partners at Newleaf Training and Development. I'm delighted to be joined today by Barbara Perrier, who is the Vice Chair at CBRE. Barbara, can you believe it? For nearly 17 years now at Newleaf, we focus on our core purpose of helping people and organizations better manage themselves, lead others, and grow business acumen. I just wondered, what are your recommended best practices to help people and organizations be their best? But please do start, though, by telling us a little bit more about your organization, what you do, and who you serve. So over to you, Barbara, and I'll wrap it up when you're done.
Great. Thank you, Paul. And excited to be part of this. I'm Barbara Perrier, as you mentioned, with CBRE for 33 years, and I do industrial capital markets and cover the West Coast with my team. So excited to be here and talk about a subject that's near and dear to my heart, which is goal setting and business planning. And it's an important part of your business plan or business acumen at any phase, but it's especially important as you start a new year or you finish a year, as people are looking at what went well, what happened this past year, how do I make it better next year, and look forward. So with that, I'd love to just talk a little bit about my kind of goals and how I set them. So my belief on goals is that they need to be, I'm going to use the acronym SMART. And what I mean by that and what a SMART goal is, it has to be specific, it has to be measurable, it has to be attainable, it can't be so far out there that you're never going to get to it. It has to be relevant to your life, and it has to be trackable. So that's what SMART means. It has to be all those things, because if you set a goal that's either not attainable or not a specific goal, it's going to be really tough to meet those objectives. The other important thing is to write it down, because sometimes if it's just in your head, it doesn't really become real. And so what you want to do is really write your goals down, visualize your goals, and spend time thinking of how that can come to reality. And I would think that you'd want short and long-term goals both. So I think it's a good strategy to look at kind of what can I do immediately and where do I want to be in a few years. That brings me to kind of the next subject, which is business planning and why that's important. Anybody who's in business needs to have a plan to get to the next level. And I really feel that one of the most important parts of the business plan is really taking time to understand what are your skills or resources that are needed or missing to get you to the next level. Because I think everybody strives for improvement year after year, and your business plan should be really focused on what you're good at, what you're missing, and how to get to the next level. And part of the way we do that is doing what we call a SWOT analysis, which is what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, what are our opportunities, and what are our threats. And by looking at those things, you can really kind of see where you need to improve and what parts of your business you can grow. And so all about the business plan is opportunities for growth, opportunities to get better, and realizing what your value proposition is. We have looked at different components of the business plan, and I think there's really kind of four main components I would recommend somebody look at, in addition to the goals, both personal, short-term, and long-term. And those are financial goals, non-financial goals. That might be what title you want to get, different levels that you want to achieve, how you look at business development, and then marketing and branding. And I would say on the marketing and branding side, it's really important nowadays to look at social media and how that plays a part of it, because it is a big part of how the world has changed. And also understanding your most valuable relationships. My sense is that when you look at your business plan and you spend time thinking about it, it's going to make you a stronger person, both personally and professionally. And one of the components that I really spend a lot of time thinking about is, what do I want to be known for? What is my brand? And how do I promote that through my business plan? And I do feel like as people look at that, things like integrity, honesty, all those things are important as you reflect. And my kind of new thing is gratitude. and being gracious and having gratitude for your clients and your relationships, both on the professional and the personal side. So, Paul, in summary, I would encourage all your listeners to make sure that they have their goals set and written down, and also formulate their business plan and focus on it. Do it in writing, but make sure you go back and adjust and take a look at it as the year goes by.
Well, Barbara, thanks ever so much. And if I could just offer a quick response there, that you really stirred me to think about three things there. I just made a scratch note here. I heard it said recently about that SWOT analysis, that the strengths and the weaknesses, they're more like internal, and then the opportunities and the threats are external. So I think that's a great framework to look at goal planning. And I love the way that you referenced about personal and professional. If I've observed anything over the last 17 years, I've noticed that when people just focus on just say professional goals, they then get problems at home. And so I like the idea of this balanced approach between personal and professional. And you use the G word. I think this is the first time on a Take 5 I've heard the G word, the gratitude word. And I just love that word. And just as a nice tie in there, we've just finished our planning for 2023 and we have a word for the year. And our word for the year is gratitude.
That's amazing. That's a great word. And it makes you healthier, it makes you happier, and it makes you more positive. Those are really benefits of having gratitude as your keyword.
I love that. Just a message out to the subscribers to keep an eye on the events page of the website for the different opportunities we make available for you throughout the year, most of which are free of charge. And Barbara, again, it's so great to see you. Could I offer you a virtual high five?
Oh, great. All right. High five.
I wish you all the very best, Barbara. And again, thanks for taking the time with us today. You speak so clearly and just so practically and very inspiring as well.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Barbara.
I hope you found that interview useful, and if you did, feel free to rate, review, and share this podcast. We'll be back next week with another episode, and we also invite you to check out our other weekly podcast, Going the Extra Mile, which is sure to lift your spirit and encourage you in today's working world. Bye for now.